Officially, what is your role at the club?
Officially, when I decided to give up playing, or was forced to give up playing, some would say, my role became head of professional programme. It's a big fancy title, but essentially what it was is looking after the under-18s. The under-18 team, I was involved with reserves also, but mainly focused on the under-18s and the group just below that as well that are going to be coming in full time, or that we have the option to bring in full time. So basically the kids in the academy that are ready or are already full time but not yet at the level of reserve or first team football.
Officially, what is your role at the club?
Manager.
In your words, what do you see your role as, the purpose, the aims of it?
That's a good question. In terms of when I was doing my badges all the way along, I always wanted to work with senior players. I enjoyed that when I got to do it with Paul for a little while, and I enjoy working with senior players. I don't know if that was because I was in the dressing room and it was quite daunting at the start, to be fair, because I was going for their friend and then having to do drills, but that's changed recently, and I now see my immediate future and what I'm doing just now as coaching the younger ones. And I don't mean the very young ones that were learning the techniques and the basics of football. I mean the ones that are past that, but we're now learning them the game, learning them how, or trying to learn them and progress them into not being academy players or under 18s or reserves, but into how can we get them from those teams onto the pitch out there into the first team. That's my role that I'm trying to do. We've got a good group, and I think we're getting there with some of them. They're buying into everything we're doing. We've implemented a lot of changes from the way the academy had been run at the top end. So no, it's looking good and it's exciting. And now I find it strange to say that, but that's a role that's really, that I feel there's a real purpose to it, and you get real enjoyment out of seeing them going in and training with the first team, or Cammy Dow being on the bench for the first team. Little stuff like that makes me proud.
In your words, what do you see your role as and the purpose and aims of it?
Picking a team that can win a game on a Saturday.
You've got a lot of coaches in your staff. What's the biggest thing you look for when bringing somebody into your inner circle?
Trust is a very important thing. I think in any walk of life, with people you work with or people that work closely with you, you've got to be able to trust them, and you've got to really believe in the way they work as well.
You've got lots of coaches in your staff. What's the biggest thing that you look for when you're bringing somebody into your inner circle? Trust.
For me, is huge. Conversations with coaches I've worked with in the past, that stuck out for me. That was the one thing. You've got to trust the people, and probably in life that's the biggest thing for me. If you can trust the people round about you, then you've got a chance. So that's not just say you can bring in your best pal and he's trustworthy, so let's get him in and he'll help develop these kids that we're trying to turn into professional footballers and go and have a prolonged career. But they've obviously then got to have the knowledge of the game and the willingness to want to be involved in the game as well. So I think that's what we've done, and the club have been great in that sense. That was one of when I sat with John at the time and spoke about retiring and the role, and with Jimmy, and Jimmy at the time was doing the under 20s, and I had to say to John, look, if I'm going to come in and do the under 18s, and I want to have a kind of clean slate to go and do it in a certain way. Now that's not to say I can go and say, right, we're going to do this, that or whatever. Ultimately everything depends on the first team and we work towards that, but it's been a great learning curve for me to be able to go in and bring in people that I trust, that I know that they're good around the kids, and probably the proof in the pudding is that all the boys seem to be taking to them as well.
What's your thoughts in general about the squad?
changed. It was difficult when I knew this was coming. I went and watched a lot with Darren and Cammy when they were doing it with my staff at the end of last season, and going forward we were really good. Everybody knows that. We had some great talent going forward, but we're conceding goals and we're losing games, silly games. So I thought this is going to be quite easy. You bring in players that stop that. And that was the first thing we tried to do. Obviously Darren and Cammy, they worked a lot with my staff as well, and got the standards up. Everything kind of got better, but then now I come in and the problem I've got is I was speaking about this on the way home from the game last night, that I could left Cammy Dow on the bench. Now 3 weeks ago Cammy Dow was on the bench for the first team, almost making his debut, and I had a decision to leave him on the bench for a youth cup game on Dens, which would have been devastating for him, but a hard decision for me. And that's the things I don't think they teach you on the courses. I'm almost finished my pro licence, but at no point has anybody sat and said, they tell you make the decisions, but nobody tells you, and I suppose they can't, how it feels until you make them. So now looking at the squad now, I could probably say I've got the biggest problem for me is picking 11, because I've got that many good players at that age. Now it's a great problem, and it's something that's helping me develop, because I've got to make hard decisions week in, week out, and people are coming in that maybe aren't or haven't been playing well, but they play that well, they stay in. And it's development football, yes, but as I said earlier on, we're trying to develop these players to go and play in a first team. We're not just developing them to be a football player. There's a difference for developing an academy player to developing a player to go and play in a first team. And that's huge. There's a lot more to it than just being able to go out and play nice football. And I think anybody that's seen Lyle Cameron, for example, last season would say how good a footballer he was. He could take the ball in tight areas, he could create, he could score goals, but I think when you come and watch Lyle Cameron now, he's completely different. Of course he can still do all that, but what he can do now, he can win the ball back for us, he gets after teams, he's clever where he goes and presses and how he presses, and that's something we've worked on with him, and we're lucky he's got that good a footballing brain that he's learning that. And I think looking at that squad, it's a roundabout way of answering the question, but it's a squad filled with real quality for that age. But at the minute that's all they are. They're quality academy players, and now it's our job as an under 18 staff, and then as a reserve staff, and then getting them into the first team for them to then kick them on to one day. Hopefully we've got as many of them as possible as we can out there on the main pitch and doing the club proud.
What's your thoughts in general about the squad?
I think that now we're getting everybody back and fit and available, barring one or two, then we're pretty strong in all areas of the pitch. We identified certain areas that we needed to strengthen in January, and I think we've done that pretty well. And as a squad now, I think we're pretty decent, but we'll always, there's still a lot of work to do, and we still do need to get better, but we're showing the right signs of improvement.
When we scored the goals yesterday, I mean, every player celebrated together, so there's obviously a togetherness in the squad as well.
Yeah, it's great, and we've been very lucky due to the fact that the schools have bought into what we put to them, and we can't thank the schools enough. We get all the school kids get out on a Monday and a Wednesday, they come in, they train, so they're basically full-time players. Will train a Monday, the only day they miss is a Tuesday. The schoolboys I'm talking about, they train a Wednesday, they train a Thursday evening, then we play on a Friday and we train a Sunday, so they're basically full-time players. The odd Sunday they got off if I'm too tired, or if I'm too tired for doing the drive, but essentially know that with the way the schools and with the help for the schools, they're basically full-time, and I think that's, speaking to other people, Stephen McManus was on the pro licence, and he's obviously got the same role at Motherwell, and they're finding it a bit difficult just with the times. Sometimes they're training at 4:30 in the evening, and
when we score goals, everybody celebrates together, so there's quite obviously a togetherness in the squad.
Yeah, I think that's been there from the start, and that's massive for any group of players, and you think of any team that's been successful, then they've got that team spirit, and I think that goes down to who you're signing, the types of characters. You take away the kind of, you could put the footballing ability to the side, but the team spirit and everybody being together's and a work ethic's there is down to their character, and I think that's one of the key things when we're signing players, is what type of character are they as well.
Playing at the ends in the game, how important is that for, not so much for you but for the boys?
No, I was delighted. I can remember growing up and going and playing in the Youth Cup and what it meant to go and play at pitches, but the biggest, certainly a lot of them in that dressing room are Dundee fans, so it was a question I asked when the draw came out. I asked Brian, and the older Brian was away on holiday, so we had to wait a couple of days to get the answer, and they were more than happy to let us go on the pitch. And when we gave the boys that message, like, you could just, there was a real buzz, and then that created the buzz round about the game, and then I was a bit conscious, is that maybe, was it right? But of course it was right. They got to go out and play. People got to come and see them play on Dens, and for them it just felt different. That's the only way I can describe it. In the dressing room before the game, leading up to the game, I could probably go back and say it felt like a derby week. Playing in that's the way it felt. Looking at them, they were that hyped and that up for it, and I don't think they disappointed. Fair play to the ground staff, because I seen a video of the pitch at 7 o'clock in the morning, and when I say it was a swimming pool, it genuinely was. It was scorching in Coatbridge, but must have been pelting down up here, and the game was in real trouble. But credit to them, they got it, which was great, because it would have been a huge disappointment to the boys, and let's not be kidded, it's not about us. As much as I'd love to still be playing out there, right now it's about them, and just to see them out there and to win. And as you say, I think the celebration goes with that. They always celebrate together. They love winning, they love being, it's not the be all and end all at this level, but we're trying to fit it in there a little bit as well. But in this cup it's the be all and end all, and it's all about winning. The development side goes out, and I think you could see Big Sam does a knee slide, and I'm not sure the groundsman would be happy with that, but just the sheer excitement, and there was a decent wee crowd as well, so that made a huge difference to them. And it was, again, the only other word you can go back to for me, but it was proud to see them go out there and not fold, and that'll help their development as well, because it's not easy.
Playing at Dens, how important is that for the team?
Really important. It's really important that we can play here and play well, and at this football club there's an expectancy to do well, particularly at home, and I think to be successful, then you need to be able to do that. You need to be able to cope with playing in front of your own fans and enjoy it as well. I think in the last couple of weeks we've seen a real change in the atmosphere, because they were getting right behind us, and I think there's a belief there in what we're trying to do from the fans now as well, and long may that continue.
What's the biggest difference between your job 18 months ago and your job today?
The pressure and the expectation to win games. At first team level, whether you're a manager or a player, is always there. At whatever club you're at, you need to win games. It's not to say at under 18 football we didn't try and develop that and have it in their heads that they had to win every game. But at that level it's more about getting players into the first team and having them prepared to go and do that. So I think there's it's similar in terms of you do need to win games at that level, but you need to. Finlay Robertson, for example, I had a good idea, or I thought that when he was 14 or 15 he would play in the first team, unless he get injured or whatever, and he has played. He's played quite a lot, but we were probably, when he was that age, we were still teaching him the same kind of things that we're teaching him now in terms of on the ball, off the ball, because I had it in my head that we had to prepare him for getting into the first team. But at 18's level you never had the pressures of winning the game, or the expectations where fans are going to not be happy, or you're getting criticised for no winning games. It was solely about development, to an extent at that level, but now it's about winning games of football. But I still think you can bridge that in as well, where we're developing players, whether it be Finn, Lyle, Josh, Callum Moore, Max Anderson, Luke Stratton, whoever it is. There's still a development there, but you've got a group of players that are beyond that age as well, and they're seasoned first team pros, and it's trying to get them to work the way you're trying to do it, which again is not been an issue, and it's been good to work with them as well.